We don't hear nothing back here. Y'all dancing, but we can't hear it. You hear? You hear the music?
No music.
We don't hear no music. Trudy hear it though.
Yeah, she feeling it too.
Council on Aging, serving senior. So we can't hear nothing. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Trudy, as soon as we get the radio hooked up, we ready? Oh, wow. Hello, hello. Come on in the room. All right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Is she still dancing? Well, I can't hear the song today. Serving senior. Boom. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another. This is a Thursday, special Thursday episode of the Lotus Zone. Welcome to the Lotus Zone. This show is to educate, enlighten, and engage seniors and their caregivers. And today is day 2 of our candidates series, our virtual 2020 virtual candidates series, October 11th. Today, that's the next one. My bad. Y'all, I'm early. Today we have District 7. District 7 candidates, Metropolitan District 7 candidates. That covers Easy Town, Eden Park, and a whole lot of other places. But I know it covers the park. And we're going to have these candidates coming in today. And because we have so many, we're going to get straight to it. But let me just say this, seniors. If you're listening, make sure you ask your questions. Call in 225-663-2271. You can call in to the Lotus Zone. Don't forget, we still in our season of technology. So we got these Fire HD tablets that we gonna be giving out today. He done bumped his head. And we got a smart screen, flat screen, 43-inch TV that's gonna go with the tablet. See, because I saw on the Facebook the other day, one of my seniors had hooked up the tablet that they won to the TV. Now all the seniors want to do that, right? So now we got to get some smart. Don't be trying to take our idea. I see you looking at my paper. We got to get some. We got to get some TVs to our seniors. All right. So they telling me to pick it up. This candidate series is sponsored by the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging Senior Advisory Board. Give it up to the Senior Advisory President, Mr. Mitchell. Mr. Mitchell, to give them information on the candidates to make informed decisions at the polls. We have invited all the candidates in the mayor's race, metropolitan council race, local judiciary candidates to come to the Lotus Zone and engage the seniors and talk about the seniors. Each candidate will be asked a series of questions submitted by the seniors. Some of the questions were collected during lunch pickup at various senior centers, and others will come live and on the screen and on the telephone. Each candidate has 15 minutes and are allowed 2 minutes to respond to each question. We prefer that each candidate refrain from making personal attacks against their opposition. We want you to talk about your platform and stick to the topic. And our first candidate today is Mr. Brandon Robinson. Y'all know Brandon because he used to work for the Council on Aging for like 4 days. Then he rolled out and he left. We're going to ask him why he did that. So we got Mr. Brandon Robinson. He's running for Metropolitan Council District 7. Mr. Robinson, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. We're so glad to have you. We're so glad to have you with us. Why don't you start off by telling us something about yourself that we may not know?
Well, you do know that, however, I served 4 days, according to Ms. Amore, with Council on Aging. That is not true.
Maybe it was a little longer than 4 days.
Yeah, it was a little longer than 4 days. But I enjoyed my time with Council on Aging. I learned a lot. Mm-hmm. And I'm using a lot of her tactics within the community, and I think I'm doing a better job at it. So that's a great nugget. But however, I'm a resident here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Started community work with the Salvation Army Ranger program at the age of 14, serving people. And so it's been quite a long time still on the road of serving people. So definitely I'm glad to be here. Thank you for the opportunity to come and speak to seniors today here at the Council on Aging.
Well, you know, Mr. Young Robinson, what I can say is imitation is the best form of flattery. So I'm flattered that you are using some of the things that you learned and were taught at the Council on Aging. That's a testament to whomever your supervisor was and maybe to me. So we're so glad that you're looking to do higher things within the community where service is. That's important to have young people that want to be of service to the city. So now, first question. The East Baton Rouge Council on Aging currently has a dedicated millage tax that is utilized to provide much needed services to the seniors across this parish. What is your stance on the tax? Do you support it or would you repeal it?
I will indeed support the work that you guys have done. It's tremendous work. Of course, the seniors need it. As I've been out canvassing and knocking on doors, speaking with seniors, just council on aging is really what's getting our community through. Is more so what seniors depend on, whether it's just resources, whether it's food, just regardless of what it is, seniors really depend on council on aging. So council on aging plays a huge role in the lives of seniors that reside not only just in District 7 but around the city. If you knock on almost every door, somebody is getting some type of resource from council on aging. Good. So you guys are doing tremendous work, and I would never present anything to reform anything that you guys have done regards to serving seniors.
I appreciate that. We appreciate that. Miss Shirley A. Knox from Pearl George Senior Center. Her question is, topic is defunding the police. What are your thoughts about defunding the police department? What are your thoughts about defunding the police department?
Well, I will say I don't think we should defund the police. However, I think reform is needed. Reform. We could find ways to reform some of the policies, reform how money maybe is being spent in different areas. But I don't say defund. We still need police to serve and protect in areas of our community. So I wouldn't say defund, but more so looking to find ways to reform. Or even when it comes down to training tactics, if we can find ways to retrain cops, I believe that would be the necessary step to move forward. But defunding them would only push us back. You know, when we look at a crisis or when something happens in our community, we're calling the cops, we're calling the police. Right. So to defund them, I'll say no, but reform, yes.
Reform, yes. Okay. So listen, Brandon, we're going to have calls that's going to come in from the phone and on Facebook. And so Angel is over there looking at the questions. We have any questions, Angel, you want to ask? Okay, so the next question, before I jump in, the next question is, let's see. Why are there so many empty lots, overgrown, and filled with trash and tires? What would you do about it if elected?
Well, it's not what would I do if I'm elected, is what I'm doing now. I believe when it comes down to serving the community, we shouldn't talk about what we're going to do. Okay. If you're going to be a candidate, what have you done? What have you done? And so when it comes down to blight, when it comes down to the trash houses and et cetera in our district, it grieves me. And so something I've done this summer, I've utilized my own funding to get out there in the communities to get a lot of the blight cleaned, a lot of just overhauling certain areas. Okay. And I'm quite sure a lot of people who follow me via social media, they've seen the work that's been done. And so I look at it at this way. If unfortunately I was not able to work this summer with my nonprofit serving inner city kids due to COVID. So of course I relied on unemployment. But with my unemployment, I utilized my unemployment in my community. I put my money in my community the entire summer. And so what I did was pay two friends of mine that have lawn companies, and they went in certain areas such as Brookstown, such as Bird Station, such as Belfair, such as Eden Park, and they cleaned up around the abandonment. And majority of what's abandoned, seniors are living in the proximity of this. So our seniors are really feeling the neglect of what the city has not done when it came down to blight. Blight is too far gone in District 7.
Okay, and so since you mentioned blight, now we know that the city has a program where they go in and they'll knock down an old house and it leaves a lot there. What do you have a plan to utilize or to put back in commerce these blighted lots that are left in District 7?
Yes, that's actually a conversation that I've been having with quite a few people within my district about moving forward. Yes, we can utilize a lot of those lots to bring in more value, to bring in new homes, to bring in new businesses into our areas. But the first approach is to clean it up. No one wants to come and invest in a community that has been neglected, that has been filled with trash, that has just been behind so long. So the very first thing to do is clean it. We have to clean it. We have to find ways to remove the abandonment that's there and do it quickly. Okay.
And then how would you encourage a DPW to do what the taxpayers' funds are for, which is clean up the lots, take down old houses, and take care of the issues as it relates to drainage and sewer and cleaning the canals and the ravines on a consistent basis?
Well, you have to hold DPW, not only DPW, just you have to hold, when it comes to District 7, I gotta watch my words.
Okay, watch your words.
So watch my words.
Get it back there in the park. They'll get you.
No, it's nothing. It's nothing pertaining to the park, but it's just pertaining to leadership. District 7 has been lacking leadership. I've gotten so much done in a matter of just a small amount of time by just being there, being visible, being accountable, being relatable, but more so being accessible. And so leadership just has not been present. But I believe if leadership would get back there and hold the city accountable, our district can move forward.
And then one other question: what are your top 3 priorities for seniors in this parish if you are elected?
I just said it. You missed it. I just said it.
Say it again.
Shan, I don't need 3 minutes on this. This is an easy one here.
All right, let's have
All
it.
right. If I'm elected, it's to be held accountable,
all right,
relatable, and accessible.
Okay. And how will you be accessible that makes you different from your predecessor?
Being available was what I'm doing now, knocking on doors, identifying what are the issues. Actually, I'm honored to be here because this is my first appearance that I've actually made, given the platform of what I'm planning to do in District 7 besides the doors. It's impossible to make policies without people. Don't take that. That's mine.
I got that. Write that down.
No, do not write that down. I cannot represent a crowd of people without identifying what the issues are. So I'm 80% pretty much done with District 7 when it comes down to making assessments. I had to get to the north side and the south side of my district and knock on the doors and identify what are the issues. So you have to identify what's the issues there in order to move them forward. So I'm honored to be here once again because this is my first time. I was kind of nervous getting here, but
why are you nervous?
But it's my first time, appearing. But
you here,
I'm happy to be here.
I can't write you up for being late today.
Oh yeah.
All right, so listen. Now you said you're gonna identify some stuff. So go and drop the knowledge. What you gonna identify?
All right, gotcha. So this is my time, I guess, to talk then.
Talk. You got 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay, she said 3
right.
minutes. So my platform is MEC, MEC, a word that I created.
Okay.
And so with MEC, the M simply means it represents mental health. E stands for education. C stands for crime. In our district, when we look at crime being at an all-time high, as I'm knocking on doors, I'm identifying mental health. Mental health is a huge issue in our community. If you roll through District 7, if you roll through our community, you can see the neglect. You can see that mental health is an issue. The next thing is education. We need more educational resources, such as an alternative program to serve kids, more so a GED program. We need more literacy in our area. That's something that I've been working with the St. Paul Church on now is trying to get the GED program to come back into our community to where those resources are provided for people. We need free after school programs. We have to support the work that the school system is doing. We see these models in every other state around the world to where the city supports the work of the school system and they kind of work together. Right. But unfortunately here in Baton Rouge, it's almost like the school system is this entity, the city is this entity, and we all go our separate ways. So just finding ways as a city council to bridge and undergird and support the work that the school system has done, it can push our kids forward. And I found this to really be a great model. I found it to be very beneficial while serving inner city kids during the summer for 12 weeks. So we're undergirding and supporting the work of what's already been done with the school system is what I really look forward to doing as city council when it comes to serving the youth in our area. And the next thing is crime. One way to eliminate crime, we're going to have to remove blight. Blight is a major issue in our district that caused crime to really go to all-time high. Right. We were actually cleaning in Brookstown a couple months ago, and we had gun pulled out on us in Brookstown. As we was cleaning around the blighted houses. I didn't run because my friends was there. They were armed, so I was good. Okay. So I just stayed. We were okay. But blight is a major issue. Right. We have to find ways to bridge relationship with law enforcement. We need law enforcement in our areas, and so just finding ways to change the overall picture of where we are now would really push us forward. But you have to be accessible. You can't say you're going to fix something if you don't know what's there.
Good point. Now you got 1 minute. Finalize. Say anything you want to say within reason. You can say how great I am.
So I can't find no shots at you then.
You can't find no shots at me.
Okay, I can't find no shots at you.
I can tell you, I will give you props on one thing. I like that parking lot bingo that you did with my seniors.
It's copyrighted,
and I took it.
It's copyrighted though. It's mine.
We did it last week.
Oh, all right. Well, you got that then.
All
You got that. So
all right, what you got?
once again, I just want to say thank you for the
All right.
opportunity. Council agent, you guys are doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
I have done a great work because of what Ms. Amor has taught.
All right.
When I'm out there serving seniors, I kind of keep you in mind. What would she do?
That's right.
I do believe I'm doing a better job. I'll
Oh
continue.
my goodness.
And even when
That's
you're a
good.
senior, I'll have to serve you probably somewhere else in another platform. I'll have to serve you probably not from council on agent, but
Right.
somewhere else you'll be driving through, getting your groceries and et
That's
cetera
right.
as well. So
And you put my stuff in the car right.
in a car, right?
That's
Yes, ma'am.
right. Don't
Yes,
mess
ma'am.
up
All
my-
right,
my
good deal.
produce.
So just want to say thank you guys for the opportunity.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for coming out. We appreciate you taking the time to come out, share your platform. We really, honestly, and from the heart, we wish you good luck. You know, because it takes a lot of courage to offer yourself up for public service. And so, win, lose, or draw, just know we're behind you, and good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
All right, have a great day. All right, and up next, seniors. Let me hear some questions. Let me see you click the like. Y'all could call in. Up next, we have Mr. Jamie Robinson. Mr. Jamie Robinson is also running for Councilmatic District, Metro Council District seat, District 7. And he'll be coming on to speak with us here shortly. And so, look, you got questions. You can always look at these candidates' platforms on Facebook. I see y'all. I see y'all clicking like. Thank y'all. You can always look at Facebook and check out their social media pages so you can further delve into what their platforms are and what they're offering. And we can also say this. You know, seniors, you're filling out your ballot, so listen to what they're saying, you know, and see if it's, you know, if it's something that you agree upon before you make your selections. And so we have Mr. Jamie Robinson. Now, a lot of us know who Mr. Robinson is, and we're so grateful to have him. He's another young gentleman that is, you can take your mask up if you want, if or not, that is offering up his service, that wants to be your representative for Metro Council District 7. And so we want you to welcome Mr. Robinson and tell us all about yourself.
Thank you, Ms. Amar. It's really good to be here with you all today. I'm excited to be here with the Council on Aging. I always welcome the opportunity to spend some time with the staff.
That's right.
And most importantly, serve the seniors of this parish. That's one of my favorite things to do.
That's right.
And I think that I've shown that over the recent years.
What you think about this new building?
I love this new building.
I'm
I think
trying to tell
all
you.
the work I've seen y'all do and
That's
all
right.
the meetings I've sat in, I think this makes it all worth it.
It makes it worth it.
That's
You
right.
get to finally see, we get to see our work and play.
That's right. And when I get to see the smiles on the seniors' faces that's going to be here, it's going to make it worth my while.
So listen, we're going to give you 2 to 3 minutes to answer each question. You have 15 minutes in totality. We ask that you refrain from making personal attacks against your opponents and that you stick to the topics. And what we want you to know is this is strictly for information for our seniors so they can make some wise decision. So why don't you tell us about yourself? Just give us a little background about yourself, and then we'll go into the first questions.
Thank you. My name is Jamie Robinson. I am a resident of District 7. I serve on the Board of Directors here at the East Baton Rouge Parish Council on Aging. I also
Go on and tell them you're the secretary.
I'm the secretary
All
of
right.
the Board of the Council on Aging. I also serve on the Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport Commission. I'm the
Okay.
associate minister of my church.
Could you give me a free flight? We'll talk about it later.
No, we cannot.
Seniors,
say
Jamie
more.
got free flights for y'all through the airport. Come on, they gonna call you. They gonna call you. What else you got?
That's right. As your future councilman, I want to start off by telling the truth, and we do not offer free flights at the airport. So yes, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you to make sure that our district is a safe and welcoming environment for you to live in.
All right, first question. You ready?
Yes.
All right, Miss Shirley A. Knox from the Pearl George Senior Center. We got topics from the seniors in your district.
That's right.
Ms. Knox wants to know, what are your thoughts about defunding the police department?
That's right. I believe that across this city, this state, this nation, we're seeing now more than ever that our police officers need more training and they need more development, and it's time for serious reforms.
Right.
And those reforms call for money, and we cannot defund the police department and do the work that we need to do. And through my work with working with the seniors through the recent years and also canvassing recently in this campaign season is our seniors want to see more police presence in our community, and that's what we're going to deliver for them. We have to get more police officers in our communities, but police officers who have established and will continue to properly maintain trust with members of the community, so we can address the crime issues in our community.
Okay, and a second question. As you know, the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging currently has a dedicated millage tax that is utilized to provide much needed services to the seniors across this parish. What is your stance on the tax? Do you support it, or would you repeal it if elected?
Most definitely, I would definitely support this tax. I believe that what we've seen since we've had this tax, we've had to go before the council numerous times as people has continuously attacked us,
right,
as we already have this tax. And what I would focus on doing as your councilman, but also as a representative of this board, is to work with other council members, no matter their party affiliation or race, and make sure that we have healthy conversations with them to make sure that healthy compromises are being met to protect the seniors, and most importantly, protect the money that is allotted to us to ensure that we have the programs that's needed to ensure that you enjoy your lives here at the Council on Aging.
And since you brought up, race, what is your plan for dealing with the racial disparities and the issues that they have on the Metro Council, and what would be your plan if elected to deal with that issue?
Most definitely. So when elected, how I would deal with
those
when.
Issues. He checking me, not if, but when. Get your mind right.
That's right. I'm going to speak those things as though they are. And once elected to the council, what we're going to do is we're going to be able to sit down with council members in a humble manner and have healthy conversations, because I believe that every council member wants each council district to have the same opportunities as others do throughout this parish, and that's addressing the problems of blight. That's addressing crime in our communities, and those are things that's pressing on the hearts of those of our seniors, and that's something that I value. I value exactly what it is that you value, and the only way we can address those issues is if we have the full cooperation of our Metro Council members.
All right, now listen, we're listening. We are listening. We're tuned in on the radio, WTQT. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. So the seniors are also asking questions as we go live. And Jill, we got any questions? If not, I'm gonna go back to mine. Okay, my next question is: what are your top 3 priorities for seniors in this parish if you are elected?
My top 3 priorities.
Because this is a senior show.
That's right.
We don't want to hear them promises y'all give everybody else. We want to know what you're going to do for the seniors.
That's right. That's right. I believe what I'm going to do, I'm going to address crime. I'm going to fight blight, and I'm going to work to fix our broken economy within our community. And, when you talk about addressing crime, that's a big thing. And so you say, well, how can you do that? That's something that everyone says every time it's up for re-election. But it's time for us to begin to address the underlying issues that causes crime in our community. And that's issues that has taken place well before I was even thought about. We have to go back and...
Oh, you that young.
That's right. And I believe that that's issues even before you were thought about. We have some long existing underlying issues that needs to be addressed in our community. All
right. And Miss Francis, her topic is blighted property. Miss Francis, we all know Miss Francis. Miss Francis Johnson. That's right. She said there are a lot of blighted properties in District 7. She has one on both sides of her house, and she has been keeping them up for years. One of them has been adjudicated since 1997. Her question is, how and what can she do to obtain one of the properties? And can you put some skin in the game?
That's right. So right now there's current ordinances that are that grant resources to people like Miss Francis who have those homes close to them, to where they're able to mow those yards for 3 years, and then they obtain that property. I think that it's time for us to have some really progressive legislation that makes these properties more accessible to the residences sooner, because it's time for us to be serious about addressing the need of blight. Too often our leaders have these houses torn down, but that creates a problem, because once these properties are overgrown, how do we properly maintain those? So I think it's time for us to have serious conversations and engage in healthy dialogues that's going to address the problem of blight, and that's incorporating family homes and businesses back in North Baton Rouge. I think this can be a tool.
Well, for 3 years, you said 3 years. Miss Francis has been cutting this thing since 1997. Listen, go just put your sign on it. It belongs to you now, Miss Francis. Put your name on it.
That's right, and that's why I'm running for council, Miss Francis. I need you to know the resources resources that are available to you, and I want to be able to help you obtain that property.
And so you said there's a lot of blighted lots that are left, and if elected or when elected, as you say, what is your plan? Give us a plan that you have for District 7. 1, to eradicate the blight. 2, to work on the poverty that's in the district. 3, to kill the hopelessness that's in the district. What is your plan as a millennial and a young generation? What is your plan to do this? You're going to do differently. What is that?
Right. So, Ms. Amar, I think that the people of my community have been robbed of 2 things. That's the hope for the future, and there's their faith in elected officials. And that's why I'm running. I'm running to restore their hope for the future.
All right.
I'm running to restore their faith in their elected officials. Because once I'm elected, what's currently being tolerated will no longer be accepted by me. We're going to do some serious work as far as when you speak of blight, and we have all these properties. Like our district has so many abandoned warehouses and old factories and old gyms and stores. We can use that as tools in our war chest to incorporate businesses coming to Baton Rouge. We always offer tax credits, and those tax credits takes away public dollars to go to things like the Council on Aging and supporting senior efforts. Also, our public school system. Why don't we begin to offer these properties as healthy solutions to create jobs that offer livable wages and generous benefits, so people who live here can have these jobs and make something? And because how can you invest something that you don't have? And that's something that we're going to have to begin to address. And
last but not least, since we got about a minute left under your segment, what's the first thing you do if elected? What is going to be the first thing you do? Not the victory party. We know you're going to do that and eat finger sandwiches and chicken wings because you like a red bean and a nacho. We understand that.
I'm Baptist.
But what would be the first thing that you do, to hit the ground running to work in your district?
The first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that I dedicate myself to bringing our community together. It's time for us to come together as one. I believe that, and it's something that I've been joking with my team about, but as of January 14th, and that's the day it's the inauguration day, you would say, I believe that it's time for Operation Restoration to commence, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to restore our community. It's time for our community to come together. It's time for us to engage in healthy relationships with one another. I remember when our community knew one another, when I was walking from the corner of 24th and Gales.
So you from the park?
I'm from Easy Town.
You from Easy Town?
But I played in the park.
But you played in the park. That's
right. That's
all right. Okay, I'm just checking. You from Easy Town, but you played in the park.
That's right.
I got you.
But when we were walking to school right there at Capitol High School, all of our neighbors knew each other, and they still do know us. But so many people have come in, and so many people have grown apart in this time. And I believe that once the community does come together, that's going to address our hope situation, and most important, that's going to address crime in our community.
Well, since you are the secretary of the board, I'm going to let you give away this first tablet today. Since you slid in here with your Council on Aging shirt on, with your board shirt, full in rank, we're going to give a tablet away. If you're listening on Facebook, if you can remember anything he said, put up a comment. If you're listening on Facebook, or you can call in. We're looking for caller number 3. Let's go with caller number 3, Trudy, 663-2271. Caller number 3, 663-2271. Now, Trudy's sitting back there on the switchboard with a Michael Jackson glove on, or what she got going on back there. But 663-271. Or if anybody wants to make a comment, we got a call. Let's go. Let's answer a call. Let's see who we got.
Good evening, Lotus on.
Cut your radio down.
Good evening. Turn your radio down.
Good evening. Who we speaking to?
Hi, this is Miss Barbara Berry. Yes, it is.
Hey, Miss Berry, how you doing?
Hey, Miss Berry.
I'm great.
Miss
I'm listening and doing fine.
Miss Berry, you want to make a comment to Mr. Robinson, or you just want this doggone tablet?
I just want to make a comment and hope he wins and keeps to all of his promises, and he wants to bring the community together, and I agree with that.
All right, Miss Berry. Miss Berry, have you won a tablet yet? If not, this is your tablet. Did you win one?
Yes, I already have a tablet.
All right, we got to get somebody who don't have one. We're gonna put you in the drawing for the TV. But I'm gonna tell you, I got an umbrella, a big golf umbrella, cause Delta finna come in here and stomp down on us. So I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you an umbrella and a hat or something. Okay.
Hey, Miss Berry, I'll tell you, I agree with you. I hope I win too, Miss Berry.
Look, Miss Berry, don't call in here trying to help Jamie. Come on, let's get us another caller. True to answer the phone.
Good evening, Lotus on.
Good evening, Lotus Zone.
Good evening. Who is speaking with?
Who we speaking with?
This is Betty Winhall.
Miss Betty Woodhall. Miss Woodhall, you want to say something to Mr. Robinson?
Ma'am.
Turn your radio down just a bit.
Turn your radio down.
Okay.
All right. You want to say something to Mr. Robinson? You want to say something to Mr.
I just wanted to ask the candidate.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. How is it? What are the basic things he's going to do when it comes to the citizens, the senior citizens, as it relates to his community?
Okay. And then Miss Woodhall, you just won this tablet. This is your tablet. Trudy is going to write your name down. What center you go to?
I go to the Florida.
You go to Florida Boulevard. All right. You won a tablet. You got this tablet. And he's going to answer your question. Mr. Robinson, she has a question. She wants you to do something for the seniors.
I sure do. Thank you. So what do? I just come pick up the tablet?
Yes, ma'am. You come tomorrow from 2 to 4. Ah, we close. It's a storm. Monday, 2 to 4. Don't you come out in the rain.
Okay.
Get hurricane prepared.
Very good. I think you guys are doing a good job.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. All right. And go ahead and answer the question, Mr. Robinson.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going to work to make sure that we keep our secured funding to fund the activities that the seniors love here. We have so many innovative projects such as the prom, such as our crawfish ball, and we need to continue to fund those events, those activities, but also the everyday activities that you have. And I'm looking forward to bringing more to the Council on Aging.
And did I hear you say you're going to make a daily monthly contribution out your own pocketbook to the Council on Aging? I heard you say that, I think.
I will say each year I've been able to claim healthy donations to the Council on Aging on my taxes, so I can't say that.
That's right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Robinson. We appreciate you. Good job. Good luck to you.
Thank you, Ms. Amar.
We look forward to. We're going to our first break. We're going to our first radio break, first Facebook break. This show is sponsored by Carrot South, First Financial, Amin and Patrice Nim, and People's Health. And thank you all for listening. And don't go anywhere. We still got we got tablets, umbrellas, and a big TV to give away at the end of the show. So we're going to have our next candidate here shortly. We're going to our first break. And maybe Trudy will let us hear the song and not just herself. All right, seniors. Break. Peace.
Council on Aging, serving seniors. Council on Aging, serving seniors.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. We are back. We are back from our commercial break. We took a break. Yeah, we got bills to pay. We like a real station now, seniors. We not half stepping anymore. We got bills to pay. We have bills to pay. So welcome back to the Lotus Zone. We're gonna move on to our next candidate. Seniors, I see y'all on Facebook, but y'all not answering any questions today. And then when it's time for the TV, you're gonna want to be talking. We want to see some questions. Get engaged and type a question. If you didn't turn your question in, type your question in so that we can ask the candidates. Because if not, I'm going to keep asking my own questions. Now, we have Miss Tawana Smith. She's also running for Metro Council District 7. Miss Smith, you're going to get 15 minutes. You are allowed 2 minutes per segment, per answer, per question. And we ask that you refrain from making personal attacks against your opposition and that you stick to the topic. So, first and foremost, why don't you tell us a little something about yourself? I want to pull that mic real close so they can hear you good. Don't be scared. We cleaning it. We doing social distancing cleaning in here. Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Tawana Smith. I'm running for Metro Council District 7. I'm a 59-year resident of District 7.
Okay.
I'm a third generation there. My family were hard workers there. My mother taught at Eden Park Elementary School where I attended. And also she taught at Capitol Middle. So I have been in that district basically all of my life. I belong to Star Hill Baptist Church.
Okay.
I'm a teacher with East Baton Rouge Parish School System as of 28 years at Glen Oaks High School.
Okay.
And
we're not gonna hold that against you.
Please do not.
Okay.
Please do not. But we've had entrepreneurs in that district all of my life. My uncle was Hosey Henry. He had the first black cleaners. In that district. So I came from a family that know how to strive, and they were hard workers. We were property owners.
Okay.
And that has changed today, but it can go back to that. And that's what bothers me when I look at my district.
Okay.
And when I look at District 7, especially the north side, I know what can happen there and what needs to happen there, and I'm the woman to do the job there.
heard that.
Because I have, all of my life, I have been in that district. I care about that district. I'm still in that district, and I'm not going anywhere, and we're going to push that district forward,
We're gonna
seniors.
move the district
We're going to move it
forward,
forward.
seniors. So you were Smith. You were related to Peter Blue.
As a matter of fact, Peter Blue is an extension of my family. The Tunis Smiths, we were trying to be entrepreneurs and doing music at that time when I was about 6 years old. So I'm very familiar with Father Artist, who was at St. Paul at that time. And we've seen a lot of change there. But I want the change to come back, and I want it to start with seniors. Seniors, I got some interesting things for you all.
Okay, good. Let's just jump right into it. My first question: what are your top 3 priorities for seniors in this parish if you are elected? Your top 3 priorities.
Okay, my top 3 priorities. First is crime.
got notes and everything.
First is crime, of course. That's right, because I don't want to forget anything. I want my seniors to be well abreast of everything that's going on. The first thing is crime. I partnership with a company that's located in Chicago, and they want to use District 7 as a pilot and putting in place systems that will watch everybody that comes in and leaves out to make sure our seniors are safe. And they were also, the only thing they ask if they are able to put signs there to say that they are protecting their community. And I think that would be a good thing, because I want them seniors to be able to walk to the grocery store, walk to church safely, and return home just as they left.
Well, that's cute. Good girl, ain't no seniors walking nowhere. All right.
Maybe they would if everything is in place for them.
Right. Okay, so the next question is from Miss Shirley A. Knox. Her topic is defunding the police. She goes to Pearl George Senior Center. Give it up for Pearl George. She goes to Pearl George. What are your thoughts about defunding the police department? And if you're on Facebook, come on, chime in if you have a question for Mr. Warner. What are your thoughts about defunding the police department?
I don't feel the police department need to be defunded, but I think the police department need to be reorganized. I want a police department that I remember when I was growing up, where they knew Miss Sally's son had an issue and how to deal with it. I think trainers need to be in place where you are familiar with the people that you're serving.
Right.
Because it makes a difference when you go to a person that knows who you are by name and identify with you. And whether it's all minorities, it doesn't matter. But I think some training need to be in place. And the training that need to be in place need to be for the citizens that you are serving. And it also need to be adhered to that community, because all communities are different.
Right. Okay. So she says no defunding, but reforming. That's what
That's
you're
right.
saying. All right. Now let me ask you this. Let's see what you know about the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging. The East Baton Rouge Council on Aging currently has a dedicated millage tax that is utilized to provide much needed services to the seniors across this parish. What is your stance on the tax? Do you support it or would you repeal it?
Or of course I support the taxes. My grandmother, they were seniors in that area. I'm related also to the Augustuses, and that was a big. That's a big family in that area. And all of those were seniors. My mother played for churches. Her name was Dolores Smith. She was a senior, and she adhered to seniors there. And my thing is, I think it's more funding to be needed. And I think seniors need to be also initiated on boards in that community because they have a voice. They have a voice of the community that can strive and come up with ideas of things that they can do in the community. I'm a senior myself. I'm 59 years old.
Oh, you ain't no senior yet. You got to be
I'm
60.
Well, I'll be 60 in
You old.
November, so I'm 59 plus 3/4 quarters of a senior. That's right.
All right.
But they have a voice, and for some reason, when you say seniors, you think there are people that don't have a voice.
Right.
I want them on the board. As a matter of fact, any senior that's interested, even if I want to lose, I still want to get a board in that community so we can know the concerns. So Miss Rachel can sleep at night when she think her house is about to be torn down because she can't do repairs. I want a board to set up looking as exactly like the community, including the people that have been to prison because they have a voice too.
Right.
And they can reach the people that maybe I can't reach.
Right.
But I think that something needs to be done as a group where everybody have a voice in District 7.
All right. So now look, Miss Frances Johnson, her topic is blighted property. She's a senior at Pearl George as well. There are a lot of blighted properties in District 7. She has one that's on both sides of her house. She has been keeping them up since about 1997. One of them been adjudicated just that long. Her question is, what can she do to obtain one of the properties since she already keeping it up? What you know?
Okay, well, for instance, it is adjudicated. If she is interested in obtaining the property, I can give her my personal cell number and she can call me and I will assist her in getting that property because I ride through that district every day and the property that is there, it is enormous with blighted property. Okay. That blighted property could be used for so many different things, even a hope house for a child who's about to commit suicide, where they can just come and at least have to talk with someone. And I'm sure whoever these property owners are, and I know most of them, I can go and say, oh, that's Miss Such, and I can almost tell you the history of those houses.
Oh, you know?
Oh, I know a lot of people in District 7, as a matter of fact, in the Park area and Easy Town, because I would ride through and say the promises were here, and I can tell you almost the history of what happened to that house and who was there. And a lot of that property is just standing there. And if you just have some conversations with them, I'm quite sure they would even donate it to people in the area to fix it up where it can be something that could be useful in that district.
Okay, good. Since you know them, right next door to the fire station that I'm doing, have you seen it? At 38th and Gushon? With the red, that's me.
Yes, I have.
Right next door to that is a big lot. I want to get it, so you go.
Okay, well, it can possibly be yours. Because a lot of these people have died out and generations have gone, and it's just sitting there.
Right. Okay, so listen, seniors, I see y'all on there clicking like y'all. If you have a question, hit me up with a question. All right, so now you mentioned there's a lot of blighted property. So what is your plan for the blight in the area? What's your plan?
Okay, I've also reached out to some business owners in the community, and one called me the other day. He's looking for property, basically to create affordable housing. And I know it's sometime with blighted property, it looks bad. It does. But we have a Department of Public Works that can come through there with city at least clean it up, because it's not very easy to obtain. Sometimes it's air property, and you have to locate whoever is left and give them the opportunity to redeem their property. To even repair it. But if business owners are in the community and they are interested in some of that property to make affordable housing, that way we can sustain people in District 7, and we can also sustain little children where they don't have to go to 5 schools in 1 year. I deal with that all the time, and it's not because mama want to move, it's because she has to move because she can't afford it.
So listen, if you have a question for Ms. Smith, you can dial in 225-663-2271. We on the radio, we on Facebook, we on Instagram, we on YouTube. Y'all call in if you have a question. And she says she is gonna get the city parish to do something with the blight. So what you gonna get them to do that we can't currently get them to do?
As a matter of fact, it needs to be checks and balances
All right.
in place. Checks and balances need to be in place in case a property needs to be done within a certain amount of time. I live in Belfair, and in Belfair, the blight we have in Belfair also is a lot that I have to fight for constantly for them to come and cut. To me, that is their job. When you call in, they'll say, "Oh, it was done last week," and I take a picture of it and say, "Oh, no, it wasn't." Because there's no checks and balances to say who has come out, what addresses they have done, when they did it, and that needs to be in place with all the workers there so they'll know what has been done and what has not been done.
All right, we have a call. We have a call for you on the radio. Let's have it. Let's see. Welcome to the Lotus Zone. Cut your radio down so I can hear you clearly. Welcome to the Lotus Zone. Hello, what you say?
Yes, I have a question. Should I put it on the Facebook?
Go ahead and ask it. You can ask it.
Okay.
What addresses they have done?
I wanted to know. Okay.
Yes, go on, turn your radio.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We hear you clearly. What you want to know?
Okay. I'd like to know what will she do to help the mental people with mental problems walk in the street,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
they need assistance rather than sending them to jail.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
can be done?
And who are we speaking with?
Melba
All right, Miss-
Moyer.
All right, Miss
M-O-Y-E.
Moyer. How you doing today, Miss Moyer? Okay, what can you do with that, Miss Smith?
I want the center to be.
I'm doing great.
I want the center to be centered around every one of our district. There should be a place there where you will be able to call, and possibly even to have extended to maybe whether you can call in a line even extended hours, because mental health is on the rise, and mental issues need to be dealt with individually, and they need to be taken very seriously. This kind of comes to heart to me because even my platform even initiates opioid addiction, because opioid addiction is very prevalent in that area, and these aren't bad people, because I know a little girl that has a opioid addiction, and she also has sickle cell anemia, and doctors that she goes to, she needs behavior management, and sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not there, because we're fighting a battle between the patient and pharmaceutical companies. And if your child is given 90 pills a month to take for something she needs it for, eventually she will take it for headaches. She's going to take it for every pain there is, and it becomes an addiction. And that person who's that little girl is my daughter. She's 22 years old. I just had to place her in a place on yesterday.
Oh, wow. Sorry. to
And
hear
I
that.
have dealt with that forever, and that is part of my platform. And what opioids lead to, it leads to mental illness. So I take that to heart, and even if I have to fight and lobby for assistance with this population, I will. Because when you start questioning doctors, only thing they do is X her off that list and send it to someone else, because they don't want to deal with the problem and they don't want that scar on them. But I will fight for you, ma'am, whoever that is with mental illness, if it's a drug addiction, whatever that is, because that person could be turned around to be an asset in that district, I promise you.
All right. So, and we're wrapping up your 15 minutes. You have anything you want to say? Your last 2 minutes. You got anything you want to say?
Yes, I feel every voice should be heard in District 7. I want everyone to come to the table. I want everyone to sit at the table and have a voice of what needs to go on in that district to move that district forward. As a little girl walking down 35th Street, as a teenager walking in Belfair, it has changed dramatically, and it can return. I want us to have the fresh gardens and the fresh eggs. I remember Mr. Wright, the rooster waking us up, but then he handed us over the fence the fresh eggs and the greens and whatever. And we need a food desert. We can create a food desert right there in that area with all the property that is there to be able to at least take care of each other. So that's why I want that vote for District 7, because I want to move the district forward, seniors. I know what the seniors are about. I know what the seniors could do. I was raised around seniors that were very lucrative, hard-working people. And it's your property, it's your area, and you need to be safe and to be able to live in it.
Well, thank you so much for coming out and speaking to the seniors. We appreciate it. Good luck to you and your endeavors.
Thank
and
you.
keep the Council on Aging in mind and all that you
will.
do. All
Thank
right.
you so
Have
much.
a great day. Have a great day. All right, seniors. We gonna bring on our next candidate. So because we moving, we got a couple more we're trying to get to. We're gonna bring on Mr. Alfred Bell. We're gonna bring on Mr. Alfred Bell. He coming in. He got his hat, his shirt on, everything. We're gonna bring on Mr. Alfred Bell, and he is also running for Metro Council District 7. He's going to talk to us about all things District 7. But in the meantime, while we waiting on Mr. Bell to come to the podium, to the table, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna give away a tablet. Yeah, we're gonna give away a tablet. It's really true with all that noise. Really, we're gonna give away a tablet. Look, I got another tablet. We're looking for. You can put a comment up if you like something that Miss Smith said. You can put a comment up, or you could call in to the Lotus Online. Let's do caller number 2, 663-2271, 663-2271. Come on, call in and get your tablet. Come on, Mr. Bell, have a seat. Call in and get your tablet. Y'all see, we got to clean up the microphone. We social distancing because Miss Smith had a lot to say. She was talking, so we want to make sure that we keep the mic clean. Come on, seniors, let's call in. Caller number 2, 663-2271. We got one. Here we go. Cut your radio down in advance. Cut your radio down.
Hello.
Hello, Lotus on. Who am I speaking with?
This is Jacqueline Reed.
Hey, Miss Reed, how are you?
I'm doing good.
What senior center you go to, Miss Reed?
To Sherwood.
You go over there in the Sherwood area. Okay, Miss Reed. Look, you just won yourself, Miss Jacqueline Reed. You just won yourself a Fire HD tablet with Alexa. You get and you know what? I'm gonna give you an umbrella because you know it's raining.
I'm trying to get it.
You fine?
Well, I'm going to show you.
You wanna make a comment or something, Miss Reed?
I can't hear you.
You want to make a comment? Because you won the tablet.
Yes.
Okay, what you want to say?
Well, I just want to comment on the young that just finished speaking.
Okay.
Even when we talk about defunding the police, I need to expand, with the mental ill people that are having problems within the community. Everybody calls the police.
Yes,
but
ma'am.
a lot of times they have not been trained to handle
the mentally ill person.
Right.
I agree with you.
I think instead of calling the police, they have other people who've been trained, have these skills that can come out.
That's right.
And
I
assist with that person, handle them in a different way.
Yes, ma'am. That's a great point. And we're going to make sure.
Now, on Florida Boulevard, they're about to open up a mental
health. That's right. The Bridge Center.
Across the street from the gym.
The Bridge Center. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So I think that's going to be good for the community. Thank you for calling. We're going to get to the next candidate. Keep listening because at the end of the show, Miss Reed, we're giving away a TV. Okay. Miss Reed, and when you call me back, Miss Reed, look here. Don't put your face on the phone like that because you hit them buttons in my ear. All right. It was so nice to talk to you, Miss Reed.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Okay. Mr. Bell, put your ears set on and get close to the mic. I know you got a lot to say. I see you on Facebook. You Mr. Speak On It. I think that's what you call yourself. So we're going to see how much speaking you do today, Mr. Speak On It. Put that real close to you so we can hear what you want to say.
Oh, yeah,
all
I
right.
hear everything.
All right. So, Mr. Bell, let me give you the rules because you need some rules. Let me give you the rules. So this candidate, you have 15 minutes. You're going to get 2 minutes to respond to each question. We prefer that each candidate refrain from making personal attacks against their opposition. We prefer that each candidate stick to the topic and the questions being asked. So we want to start with, once you tell us some stuff about yourself and why you decided to offer yourself up for public service, Mr. Bell.
All right, my name is Alfred Bell. Born and raised in District 7.
All right.
On 35th Street. The
Okay.
reason I got in the race was really because I'm in love with District 7.
All right, then.
I know what District 7 can be. I have seen it, and I wanted to get back to where it was. Mm-hmm. So I entered the race.
You entered the race.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you want to tell us something about yourself? What you just from District 7? That's all you're gonna tell us something. You know,
No,
there's a lot of people looking who want to know who you are. All right.
Alfred Bell, y'all know my name.
Alfred.
Owner of Bell's Janitorial Service.
All right.
I've been incarcerated. I've come home and I hire incarcerated people to give people second, third, and fourth chances.
So you a testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
You got a testimony. That's all right.
So I make sure people know just because you committed a crime, you don't have to stay a criminal. You can change.
That's all right. Now, that's a word. You just said a word. All right, we're going to get into the first questions. First question is from, we'll start with Miss Shirley Knox. Miss Shirley Knox is a Pearl. She goes to the Pearl George Senior Center. DC is not playing with y'all. Miss Shirley Knox' topic is on defunding the police. What are your thoughts about defunding the police?
I don't think they need to be defunded.
Mm-hmm.
I think they need to be, like Ms. Hayes said earlier, retrained on
Mm-hmm.
how to deal with the people they come in contact with.
Okay. So you think they lacking some training and some education on how to deal with folk?
Yes. Oh, from firsthand experience, I can tell you, yes, they have.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's a culture in the police department that all the police officers came up under.
Mm-hmm.
See, I can go back to the 70s when
How old are you? You go back to the no, don't tell us.
Yeah.
You almost
When
a senior.
Wolf and Kelly was running the police department.
Who is Wolf?
Everybody that know me, they know who Wolf is.
All right, Wolf.
And the training that officers got came from them.
Mm-hmm.
And it would just pass down into how they handle people now.
Okay.
I done had guns put in my face. I done been beat up by the police, but you didn't have cell phones back then. So
Right.
it was just, another day on the corner.
Okay, then. Listen, what are your top 3 priorities, if elected, for seniors in this parish? What you going to do for the seniors in this parish?
My thing with the seniors is making sure that the Council on Aging is funded where they can keep providing the services that they are giving. I'm so proud of the service that y'all doing.
Thank you so
much.
much.
I just wish my grandmother would have been alive to benefit from this. Because y'all have come a long way from just sitting meals on the steps and leaving. Now, they're interacting with the seniors.
Okay.
So my grandmother didn't get that.
Your grandmother didn't get that?
No, ma'am.
All right, then. So you're going to make sure that the Council on Aging is still cooking so that we can get more money. All right.
Yeah.
So let me tell you. Okay, so Miss Frances Johnson lives in District 7. Her question is about blighted property. There's a lot of blighted property in District 7. She has lots on both sides of her house. She's been keeping them up for years. One of them has been adjudicated since 1997. Her question is, how can she obtain the property?
I have been trying to do that myself with some property.
Did you get it?
No.
What the word?
I talked to the parish attorney, Andrew Dotson. He told me you have to wait for it to be adjudicated. Then when it goes up to sale by the sheriff's department, then you have to be there to bid on it and possibly get it.
So if elected, what you going to do to change this long drawn out process? Because that would sound like to me.
My process would be, like right now I'm studying the plan of government. I don't have an answer for everything at this moment, but I am preparing myself for when I do take that seat.
All right, you preparing yourself
yeah.
for when you do take the seat?
Yes,
and
ma'am.
what makes you any different than the incumbent or any of the other people that's running the race? Why should we consider supporting you as opposed to any of the others? What makes you a great candidate?
Because one thing I say, I made a post yesterday that will I always say the right thing? No. But I will always do the right thing. I'm so in love with District 7. I have rep District 7 places that y'all have never heard of before. I'm Parktown to the bone.
Not Parktown to the bone, huh?
Yeah,
And
straight out that park.
And Jill has a question for somebody on Facebook. I bet you they want to know about Parktown and Keyless. Let's go, because we know you Keyless to the bone, too. Come on.
Yes, Mr. Bell, we have a question from Facebook. Miss Barbara Barry says, Mr. Bell, why do you think you can make a difference on the Metro Council?
Because I'm not afraid to speak.
Uh-oh. So
Point blank.
So okay, and when you get on the Metro Council, how are you gonna? Because there is a racial divide on the council and not only racial but also Democratic and Republican. How would you work on bridging that gap and filling that divide?
Okay, the way I would do that is I will meet with Democrats and Republicans and we would discuss what they want and what we want, and we will come to term and grounds on what we can do.
And what happens when they say they don't care about what you want?
Then I know how to hit the nay button.
You gonna hit the nay button on them?
Yeah.
And then here's another question: Why do you think 311 is so difficult to navigate to get assistance, and why do you think there's so many empty lots that's overgrown and filled with trash and tires?
Good question. I called 311 2 weeks ago. Never got an answer. I got the recording, and I went through the whole list, hit 0, rung 3 times, and it hung up on me. So I can understand the frustration with that, but my
Seniors are
thing,
frustrated with that.
Yeah, if I got frustrated, so I know how the seniors feeling. So my thing with the blighted property would be, I want to get with DPW because I know there is areas where the city can contract with private landscape companies to cut the blighted property. So I'm going to see how we can team with them,
All right.
DPW.
And then currently, the East Baton Rouge Council on Aging has a dedicated millage tax. It's utilized to provide much needed services to the seniors across this parish. What is your stance on the tax? Do you support it, or would you repeal it?
I support it 100. Like I say, the things that the Council on Aging is doing, I only wish my grandmother was here. My mama is enjoying it.
Good.
So it's needed.
What your mama think about them lunches and dinners?
Chef Celeste stopped cooking.
Chef, she likes the lunches, huh?
Yeah, she love them. She don't even cook for me no more.
She not have to cook for you, huh?
She eat all Chef Celeste food.
All right, we got a call on the line on the Lotus song. He say his mama stopped cooking because he eats Chef Celeste food. Hey, this is welcome to the Lotus Zone. This is Tasha. Who am I speaking with?
This is Dorothy Smart.
Hi, Miss Smart.
S-M-O-R-T.
All right. You have a question for Mr. Bell?
Ma'am?
Do you have a question for Mr. Bell?
No, I want to make a comment if you don't mind.
Please do.
I would like to thank him so much for informing us about the care for this, I want to say Hurricane Delta coming through.
Uh-huh.
I like how he informs the people as well as you're doing right now.
Yes, ma'am.
And we just love him.
All right, I appreciate it.
I'm a retiree of 33 years from Southern University.
Okay.
Human Resources.
Yes, ma'am, Miss Smart.
And thank you so much.
Thank you so
what
much
you do.
for listening. We appreciate it. And keep listening and tune in because we're going to give away another tablet and TV toward the end of the show. So thank you so much for listening, and we thank you.
Well, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
And have a great day and be blessed.
You too, darling. You too. Okay. All right, Mr. Bell. Miss Smart, you must have paid her to call in, or no? That's your friend. You don't know. That's all right. All right. So you got 2 minutes to tell us your platform, what you plan on doing. So as we wrap the segment up, what you have?
My 3 main things would be number 1, getting away from the month-to-month contract with the police union.
Okay, that's the first.
2, dealing with the blight, contracting with DPW and the local landscaping company to get rid of the blight.
Okay.
3, just trying to, if you spend 25 cents on Burbanks, I want 75 cents spent in North Baton Rouge.
Well, how you gonna control people's money that they spend?
They doing it with ours.
Okay, then. Well, that was Mr. Speak on it. You got anything else you
Told you I say
want?
anything.
Yeah, you do. You say anything, Lord. You got anything else you want to say, Mr. Bell?
Thank y'all for having me on.
We appreciate you for coming. Thank you for offering up yourself for public service. We wish you the best of luck in your race, okay?
All right, thank you.
All right, have a great afternoon. We're going to take a radio break. Y'all, we're going to take a radio break. Thank you to our sponsors. We're going to have the incumbent is next. Up next, Councilman Lamont Cole. And we're going to have Mr. Councilman Lamont Cole just for a good while. He's going to give us away the final tablet and the TV. So y'all listen. Here's the last 15 minutes. We're going to break. Thank you.
Council on Aging, serving seniors. Council on Aging, serving seniors.
All right. Welcome back to the Lotus Zone. Don't forget that this show is sponsored by CareSouth, First Financial, and People's Health. We honored to have mental councilman for District 7, Lamont Cole. He's in the studio. Now, I know a lot of y'all had a lot of calls and questions for him. And we're going to put the number up right now, 663-2271, 663-2271. Put your questions for Councilman Cole on Facebook. Councilman Cole going to help me get his TV away, too, so he going to make sure that you guys are paying attention. Councilman Cole, we're so glad to have you to come out and take your time to come and speak to the seniors. The seniors wanted to have this candidate series so that they can hear directly from the incumbent and everybody's running. You know that with COVID going on, we had to change the way we do things because, you know, we normally have a big forum. But we're going to bring it to them. We're bringing it to them in their house. We on Facebook. We on YouTube. We on Instagram. We on Twitter. We on the website. We all over the place. And so they're listening on all mediums, including the radio. So you have 15 minutes. 2 minutes to respond to each question. We prefer that each candidate refrain from making personal attacks against their opposition. And
we never do that.
We ask Councilman Cole that you speak about the topics at hand. So first of all, tell us something about yourself that we may or may not know. I know a lot because I've known you for a good while, good brother. But tell us some stuff that other folks might not know.
Oh, tell you something that people may not know. First and foremost, let me say thank you to you, the Council on Aging, for all of the work that you all are doing in our community for our senior citizens. Let me say that this work that you do is not easy, but it's necessary.
Thank you.
And it's so many of us who are not senior citizens are paying attention to the work you're doing for our seniors, because one day we hope to live long enough to pass that way.
Keep living.
And we appreciate what you're doing for them in hopes that perhaps one day you might be able to do the same thing for me if the Lord spare life and the creek don't rise, you know?
You younger than me, so you be serving me, brother.
But thanks for having me on the show today. It's a pleasure and honor to be here, a duty, if you will. And I look forward to the dialogue. Something people may not know about me. Okay. I like to read a lot. That's something people may not know. I read a lot. I read, and not just, novels. I read everything, magazines, the newspaper, anything I can get my hands on. I like to read and learn as much as possible about things that are going on in our world. That's
something we have in common. I particularly like articles, short articles, something I could go through right quick and pick up some tidbits. So, I don't like to get bogged down in the book because I forget to go back to it. But that's something that we have in common. So we're going to get straight to the first question. Our first question is a simple question. What are your top 3 priorities for seniors in this parish if you are reelected? What are your top 3 priorities moving forward?
Well, I think the top 3 priorities, not only for seniors but for the entire district and District 7 is number 1, drainage maintenance, including canal and ditches. I think back in 2005, prior to 2005, we had regular maintenance of canals, regular maintenance of our waterways. And so with budget cuts back in 2005, we lost manpower in terms of being able to do that work. And so we have to work with our city government to ensure that we bring that type of management of our canals, of our waterways, and of our ditches back to ensure we're cleaning them so water can free flow. One of the other things we have to think about is public safety. Right. What do we do to interrupt violence? I mean, I think oftentimes we look for police to manage crime, but what we need to do is think about public safety and think about how do we interrupt violence. Right. I was having a conversation the other day with my family, and I was explaining to them when we were younger growing up in Fairfield, we never called the police because the adults in the neighborhood addressed all of the issues that came up. And so that's number 2. And number 3, we have to really, really, really be thinking about how do we create an infrastructure that addresses this blight that we have in our community. Right. We have a blight problem, and the blight problem exists because of the process it takes to address blight. So we have to think about getting around the 5th Amendment, the eminent domain clause of the 5th Amendment, so that we can identify property, put it back into commerce, and use it for public good.
This
top 3. Those are the top 3.
And I appreciate your explanation of the drainage process because I did not know that it's not regularly scheduled, and would make sense to do it per quarter or something to that effect. And I think that would probably alleviate a lot of the worry that the seniors have, particularly during hurricane season?
Well, I think, in order to fully understand a challenge we have in our community, we have to do research and understand the history about how things come to be that way.
Sure.
And so when we think about having had different members of workers in the DPW, Department of Public Works, who would go out and manage those waterways and manage those canals and cut the grass and kill the weeds and make sure they got all the debris out of the waterways. We saw free flow of water. So when it rained, we didn't have a scare like we have now.
Right.
And, and it's a responsibility of city government to make sure we do that. We're going to work with the mayor's office to make sure we create a comprehensive drainage management program. And then priority number one is to make sure we do those things.
Okay, great. So look, Miss Shirley Knox, she's a senior at the Pearl George Senior Center.
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Knox's topic is defunding the police. What are your thoughts about defunding the police departments? That's the hot topic right now.
Yeah, it's an extremely hot topic. I think we have to do two things. I think as a community, we have to be clear on what we want from our police department.
Right.
All right, before we start talking about funds we're going to take away from the police department, let's be clear about the type of services we want from law enforcement agencies, local law enforcement agencies. And if as a community we can be clear about what we want from law enforcement agencies, then we can be also clear about how much money we need to allow for that to happen. Then once we're clear about that, we can then talk about the wraparound services for mental health, right? Drug abuse, right? Then we start talking about housing, and then we start talking about putting funds towards things that we know create crime, the blight, issues around the homelessness we have here in our community, and a whole host of other things. So, law enforcement agencies are an extension of the community, all right? It's not the other way around. They don't just exist as a result of city government. They exist as a result of what we need in the community. But we have to be very, very clear about what we want from law enforcement and then decide how we want to see those funds flow. And so with that being the case, I go back to this phrase, violence interrupters. We have to identify people who live in our community, who understand the pulse of the community, who can interrupt violence before it takes place, right? Because we do know in the black community, we recognize oftentimes people don't want to tell or say or communicate with law enforcement about what's going on. That's the old adage, no snitching, right? Snitches get stitches, that's right. But we do recognize there are people in our communities who are well respected by all in the community, young and old.
The seniors are snitch.
Yeah.
They ain't got no problem telling.
Well, seniors have reached a level of maturity where they understand, as my grandmother would say, you only promise 70 years.
That's right. Anything else is land.
And anything else is a gift. And so
3 scores and 10.
Exactly. And so they understand that. And so we do need to think about how do we transform our law enforcement agencies. More than defunding, we need a complete transformation of how we interact with law enforcement and what we expect from law enforcement in terms of how they're going to serve this community. We have to keep in mind, I'm a history buff, so historically they were created to go out and chase slaves, right? Law enforcement officers by and large are trained to interrupt violence, to respond to violence situations. So no matter what you call them for, they show up in the back of their mind thinking they may have to respond to a violent situation.
Bust some heads.
We have to be very careful about always calling police to come out and handle situations we perhaps could handle to ourselves if we went back to true communities, true neighborhoods where we knew our neighbors, where we understood what I want for myself, I want for you.
Or true family dynamic. Because back in the day when there was a beef in the house, your mama handled it.
Exactly.
We're not calling nobody.
We're not calling anybody. Now listen, this is not popular. But when I was growing up, if I had a problem with somebody, my uncles would take me outside and let us put the boxing gloves on, and we'll settle it like that. Now, some people don't approve of that. When we had those boxing rings going on at Liberty High School, formerly Lee High School, and the principal expelled all those kids, there was complete outrage because the kids were trying to settle their own differences. And so I think in the community, in many of our communities, we've lost touch with each other. The black community, the black family unit has been broken down, and we have to think about ways to create some community healing so that we don't need to rely on law enforcement agencies to come into our communities. And then if we do, we want to make sure that the members of law enforcement are hired from the community.
Or how about live in the community?
Or live in the community. You understand? But ultimately, I think more important than living, hire those who have come from the community, who grew up in the community, who still have family in the community. It's just as good as someone who perhaps lives in the community because they understand who lives there, understands the community, and when they get that call, they can say, "Hey, I know him. Let me go talk to him."
Unless it's someone that went outside of the community, forgot where they came from.
Well, that can happen from time to time, but ultimately, those who grew up in the community and love it and really appreciate what the community did for them,
that's right.
They never ever forget.
Right.
You know what I mean? They may move and to do other things, but they never forget.
So one of your opponents that's running against you mentioned the month-to-month contract with the police union. Are we gonna finalize that and make it a whole contract, or are we gonna move from that, or what are we gonna do?
Well, the dynamics of the police contract is extremely convoluted based on laws that are handled at the state level, right?
Right.
And some of the opportunities and some of the legislation that's been passed at the state level that governs how police unions are able to organize their contracts and the protections that are within a contract for members of the union. And so I think we have to work with our state legislators, work with our state delegation to look at what can we do possibly to change that, right?
Sure.
And so that if we can do that work and then we can sit down at the table and negotiate a contract that doesn't provide protections for law enforcement agents who choose to make bad decisions, right?
Qualified immunity.
Exactly. So there's a lot of law enforcement, members of law enforcement who choose to make bad decisions every single day because they know they're protected.
Right.
But that's not governed at the local level as much as it's governed at the state level.
Gotcha.
And then we have to sit down with our state delegation, have that conversation, see if they can fight to make those type of changes so that when we sit down at the table to discuss the union contract, we can then put provisions in there that doesn't protect those bad apples, that allows for those who want to do this job the right way to be able to do it and still be protected on the other side when they're being scrutinized and criticized and heavily critiqued for things they're doing right the way they address the community. And so I think we have to think about that. And so hopefully when it's time to sit down, I think we have an excellent chief who has a vision and who's doing his very best to change the culture of the good old boy system that perhaps may exist in law enforcement. I think we have to just be very clear about process and procedures to ensure that we can do that work.
Okay, so look, we live on Facebook, and Jill has a question from a senior on Facebook.
Sure.
Let us have it, Jill.
Yes, Miss Elizabeth Parrish wants to know, why does the city wait until the 9th hour to start cleaning ditches? Why can't this be an ongoing effort?
Like I said, back in 2005 when manpower was cut, we lost a number of individuals working in that department, and so we didn't see the type of maintenance in terms of the ditches and canals that we once saw prior to those cuts. And so I think oftentimes, and look, let's call it like it is, oftentimes in the 9th hour in an election year, people respond a little bit differently to the needs of the community. This is something we've been talking about since day one, a comprehensive drainage program.
Right.
And so when you ask why does the city wait to the 9th hour to address some of the issues with canals and maintenance of ditches and things of that nature and maintenance of our waterways, it's simply because, let's call a spade a spade. It's an election year.
Sure.
And so the loudest cry, the wheel that squeaks the loudest gets the oil.
That's right.
And right now, because of all of the rain and the bad weather we've had, and as a result of COVID,
the wheel is squeaking.
The wheel is squeaking and it's getting the oil. However, going into the next 4 years, this is a priority for me. Okay. And so if it's a priority for me, it's going to be a priority for the council and as well as the administration. And we're going to continue to squeak and squeak and squeak and squeak until we see the type of maintenance of canals and ditches we want to see. Now, one thing Tasha, and members of Council on Aging, when it's time to get something done,
we know you throw the first
I'm going to get something done.
We
all
know
right.
It.
And listen, sometimes while, I may choose not to be a Facebook individual, but you've been down to the city council to see that when it's time to get something done, we're going to get something done that's going to be good and beneficial for all people.
Well, everybody on Facebook not real. Some of them is their representatives.
Listen, I'm not going to say anything about those folks on social media because, people have to live their lives the best way they know how.
So we're going to segue into the next question, which is, as you know, the Council on Aging has a dedicated tax that is utilized to provide much needed services to the seniors across this parish. What is your stance on the tax? Do you support it? Do you continue to support it? Or will you repeal it? Because if not for you, let me say this for the seniors, we wouldn't have a tax. It would have never been passed. And you were very instrumental in throwing the blow that helped us to get our tax off the Metro Council. So my question to you is, you still rolling with the council? You still rocking with us?
Listen, as I start 100 million, thousand, trillion %, am I still rocking with the Council on Aging and the work you do? Because let's be clear, it takes leadership. So your leadership has led to a lot of the work that the Council on Aging is able to do. A lot of the services our senior citizens are able to receive. Senior citizens build facilities are opening all over the city. This is a beautiful facility that we're in. And before people out there criticize the Council on Aging and say we need to take the money, first thing you need to think about is your parents, your family members who perhaps are seniors who are in need of services, and then come take a tour and see all of the wonderful things that are going on for our senior citizens here in our city. I think oftentimes we think senior citizens don't want to participate in activities that bring them joy in their life, and we recognize that the Council on Aging provide those activities for the seniors. So of course we will continue to fight as I have. You know, I don't think people in this community understand clearly some of what I personally had to go through in my efforts to make sure we were able and successful to see that getting from the council to the voters.
And if they do, sometimes what happens with us is a short-term memory. And we remember, right?
I have never questioned whether or not you or members of the organization or even the senior citizens, particularly those at the Pearl George Center, because they've said it to me all the time. Thank you so much for your efforts. And let me be 100% clear. Don't do it for the credit. We do it for the people. The work is the work, and the only way we learn to do the work is by actually doing the work. That's right. And so we're going to continue to do the work.
All right. Now, Miss Francis, she goes to the Pearl George Center.
Yes, ma'am.
Says she has some.
Miss
Francis Johnson.
What you say, baby?
She said there's a lot of blighted property in District 7. She has one on both sides of her. One of them she's been keeping up for many years, and it has been adjudicated since 1997. Her question is, how and what can she do to obtain one of the properties that's closest to her that she's been maintaining?
Well, first and foremost, she has to keep a log of how long she's been maintaining that particular property that is adjacent to hers, and it has to be adjacent to where she lives, which means right next door. And then once she's kept a log and then she brings that information to our office, we can check to see whether or not the property has been adjudicated for sure and taken over by the city, and that there is no owner who is still out there seeking to regain ownership or wanting to pay taxes and things of that nature. And if those things are clear, then she can go through the process of the Moat to Own program, which suggests, and again, you know, we want to thank Tara Wickett because that was her initiative, the previous council, and she made sure that happened. And so now we see a number of people in our city who are able to gain property as a result of maintaining the adjacent property. So again, call my office, Miss Francis, today before 5 o'clock. Talk to Ms. Harris, and we'll jump right on top of that. We're helping a couple of people in the district right now with that same issue. And again, a lot of this is about information. There are a number of people in our community who don't even know about the Moat to Own program and the opportunities that exist to maintain the property next door and then take ownership of it if it has in fact been adjudicated and taken over by the city.
And it's in that same vein, she mentioned a lot of blighted property in your area. Do you have a plan to do something to regain those lots? Or what's your plan when reelected, or if reelected? What's your plan?
Well, when reelected, because I will be. You have to speak things into existence. I feel firmly that the voters will support that.
You to say it.
And I don't like to be braggadocious. Don't turn me up in here. I'm trying to be
crank you up a notch.
But one of the things I think people need to understand is the blight process is extremely convoluted, complex, and it takes too long. It can take about 9 months for a piece of blighted property to fully be addressed. When you think about aired property that has been left to 11 members of a family who no longer live in the city of Baton Rouge, and by law you have to contact all of the owners to provide them with it, to give them notice first that something is wrong with the property, and then give them an opportunity to address the property. It takes a long time to do that. And we have a lot of blighted property in the community. Now, my plan going forward is to create a Blight Buster program where we work with a Blight Buster program. We want to, listen, we want to look at in District 7, Park Elementary, which is a beautiful new school that we fought to make sure the money stayed in the district. Capitol Elementary, beautiful new facility. Capital Middle, Belfair Elementary now that's getting ready to be renovated and having a middle school added on Winburn Elementary. All of these new facilities in our district. Let's start there and work our way out around those areas and start to address those properties so kids don't have to walk past blighted properties headed to school. So what we need is a group of community members who are going to be committed to this process. And every weekend we have to go out and rehab a home, rehab a property, and then be committed to maintaining that property. It's not going to happen from city government. It's going to happen from the community. So as we begin in 2021, we want to talk to those small business owners who are willing to commit their time, maybe one weekend a month, 12 times a year, if you can commit yourself to assisting with rehabbing a property. And then we start looking at some of the bigger construction owners. Tillage Construction, I talk to Mr. Tillage and Keith Tillage all the time.
No,
they support yes ma'am. Southern Lab. You know, my wife went to the lab.
I know.
Ran track with Trudy. But anyway, championship track team. But I've talked to Mr. Tillage and Keith, and they are supportive of help. I've talked to Nathaniel Crump, who's a contractor. I've talked to Brandon Williams, who's a contractor. I told him about the plan, and they are committed to providing additional resources to help us rehab some of these homes. Now, again, some of these homes are going to be private properties, and we're going to have to get in touch with the owners and tell them the plan and then start working. The properties that have been adjudicated or in possession by the city, got to work with the city and say, hey, look, the community wants to rehab these properties, put them back in commerce, and then once we do that, girl, you gonna get somebody in trouble in here. But after we do that, then we have to identify nonprofit organizations who are serious about this work in this community, and then say to them, hey, listen, give us your plan for how you want to use this community to address homelessness, right? To address mental issues, to address any of the issues. We recognize that you are skilled and you are a professional in that area, and you want to create this nonprofit and then work with us to rehab those properties. Then you take ownership of it to do this work in our community. So we have to create a blight buster program. That's the initiative, and we have to do that. I wish I had time to talk about the phases of my vision. Yeah, my vision for the whole entire district and the phases in terms of what we plan to do and how we've delivered on everything we plan to do. And so the things we have planned, when I tell you we're going to address blight, when I tell you we're going to address drainage, when I tell you we're going to create a system that handles public safety, oh, trust and believe it's going to get done.
So I got one last question, and then we're going to give away this TV and this stuff. My last question is an off-topic question.
Okay.
So this is what I want to know.
All right.
How you going to be the next superintendent and the re-elected metro councilman?
Well, listen. I'm gonna just shoot it.
Cause we speaking those things.
We have to speak them into existence. I'm gonna just shoot you straight.
Shoot me straight.
If I were selected, not elected, because you're selected by 9 members of a board to serve as superintendent, I would give up my seat on the council. I'm gonna just be honest with you, because I would be 24 hours, 7 days a week, creating a revolution for public education for children in this city. And listen. I firmly believe I'm the best candidate by far. I believe we would create a school system that would be #1 in the world if given the opportunity, and it was something I would love to do. Now, listen, those members of the board told me they didn't want me, and that's fine. You know, this may not be.
You know, sometimes you make a bad decision before you get to the good one.
Indeed.
Happens in life.
Indeed. But I will say this: it would mean nothing would bring me more joy in this world than to have an opportunity to serve the children of East Baton Rouge Parish in that seat, to create a world-class school system. Everyone, black, white, young, old, most importantly, the families and children who choose East Baton Rouge Parish Public Schools.
That's right.
To give them something they could be proud of, right?
I like it.
Now, if not given the opportunity, then we're going to keep pushing to serve this community as Metro Councilman of District 7.
Hey, that's how you tie it up. Now, listen, give me callers number 2, number 3. Caller number 2, you winning the tablet. Number 3, Councilman Cole going to give you away this 43-inch TV.
I'm going to give you this 43-inch TV that has this smart TV with Netflix. Let me tell you something right now. All of these streaming services are about to put cable out of business. I'm just trying to tell you, man. I listen, I have internet, but I use streaming services for everything I watch.
And while we waiting on the callers, this Sunday, I got the Honorable Mayor Sharon Western Broom on the show. She'll be here with us for almost an hour. We got Councilman Green and Darrell Hurst. Let's go. Let's go with the call. Lotus Zone. Who am I speaking with?
This is Barbara Berry, and I hope I'm calling number 3.
You calling number 3, Miss Berry. You calling number.
All right.
Oh, you not calling number 3. You calling number 2, Miss Berry. You about to
come on now.
You about to get me killed. Hang up and call back, Miss Berry. Hang up.
Oh my God.
All right, Miss Berry. All right, come on. I'm looking for 2 and 3. Calling number 2. Who am I speaking with?
Miss Berry. Oh, come on. Hello.
Turn your radio down. Who am I speaking with?
Mary Washington.
What's your name?
Washington.
Hey, Miss Washington. Miss Mary Washington. Miss Mary Washington, you just won a tablet today, Miss Washington.
You just won a tablet, Miss Washington. You got to give it up for Miss Washington. She just won a tablet. You got to make some noise for that right there.
HD for seniors with Alexis. That's you, Miss. And you getting an umbrella, the golf umbrella. You want a tablet and the Council on Aging umbrella and mask. We got you covered. Trudy wrote you down. Thank you for calling.
Got to make some noise. Got to make some noise.
All right.
And I will be there Monday, 2 to
4. That's right. That's
2 to 4.
You got it. 2 to 4. All right. Caller number 3. Let's go. Caller number 3. Who we got? All right. Turn your TV, turn your radio down. This is who am I speaking with? Lotus Zone. Who am I speaking with?
I was calling in.
All right.
I was trying to get in to get a tablet.
What you getting the TV? What's your name?
You getting a 43, not a 43, a 43-inch TV.
Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down. Turn your radio down.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Lotus Zone.
Oh, Eloise Fields.
Hey, Miss Fields. All right, you done caught up. Miss Fields, you done won the TV. What center you go to?
Hallelujah, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. What center you go to, Miss Fields?
I have the iPad.
Okay. All right, Miss Fields.
I have the iPad.
You got an iPad. Now you can hook your iPad to your new
What
TV.
center do you attend, Miss Fields?
Charles Kelly.
All right.
Charles Kelly. Councilwoman Green over there.
Charles
Kelly.
All right. Congratulations. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you on Sunday when we have Councilwoman Green and Darrell Hurst and the mayor. Pick it up on Monday. Look, we might have to deliver your TV to you. So call in on Monday. Ask for Trudy and we'll take care of it. All right. Enjoy your day. Thank you, Councilman Cole. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate enjoying. We got to give it up for all the winners.
Give it up for the winners.
I appreciate having the opportunity to participate in that. That's fun.
And listen, good luck to you. You, of course, you know you're always in our thoughts and prayers. And just from me and from the council and from our staff, we appreciate everything that you have done for us and that you continue to do.
Well, listen, thank you so much again for having me on the show today. I sincerely appreciate it. Let me say this: good luck to all of the candidates out there and all of the races here. And let's be clear. This is an old adage, but a outstanding woman in our community said this to me when I first got into politics, and she said, "No permanent enemies, no permanent friends, only permanent interests." And let's keep the interests the same, and that's to create the greatest city we can and work together to do that. So no matter what happens, I wish all the candidates well. Just know when I win, I just hope you continue to have that commitment and continue to want to see District 7 do best.
All right. All right. Thank you all. They loving it. They liking it. They loving it. All right. Thank y'all. Y'all have a great day. See you on Sunday.
God bless you.